last fire will rise. The last fire will rise behind those eyes. Black house will rock. Blind boys don't lie. Immortal fear. That voice so clear.
Hello, YouTubers, and Happy New Year. So this time around, as I'm going to be posting this episode, it will actually be the day of New Year's Eve. So I thought, why not bring you a New Year's special? So I'm kind of just, thinking back and just reflecting on my 2014. So, as you saw in my video, I did a similar video last year. I really had a great year last year in 2013. Was kind of hoping that would continue in 2014. And to a large degree, I would say, I had a pretty great 2014. Kind of a little bit of a roller coaster here and there. Like there were ups and there were downs. I would definitely say it wasn't necessarily as good as my 2013. And I think a large part of that had to do, honestly, with 2013 was very early on in I think it was late 2012 when I got out of a relationship that really had been no good for me, and that I had stuck around too long trying to make things work in a relationship where I was the only one putting in the effort to actually make things work. And that relationship was not good for me for a long time. So kind of 2013, I was just riding this like high of, it felt amazing being out of that, being free of a relationship where I was made to feel so, worthless and did everything I could, but felt like it was never appreciated, never returned. So, in large degree, 2013 was awesome. 2014, a lot of that continued. Professionally, my things just get better and better. I absolutely love my job. I hope that'll always be the case. I'm kind of a loyal person when it comes to work, so I tend to always love my jobs right away. And then now and then something happens where they ruin it, and I no longer do. So far, knock wood. That hasn't been the case with this job. I still absolutely love it. I actually, look forward to going to work. I mean, and mind you, of course, if I suddenly hit the lottery and were, a bajillionaire and didn't have to work, it's not like I would do the job. But I mean, I actually look forward to going in the day. I like the job, and it's, and it's great. And of course, I enjoy my time at home just to do whatever the hell I want to, but the job is great. Personally, mostly my life has been great in that aspect as well. There's been a little bit of self-doubt, kind of, as I've been trying to sort of get back into the world, get back to being human, so to speak. After everything I went through, and some of that went well, some of it not so much. Unfortunately, there's been certain friends that supposedly were my friends that I just don't feel so much I can trust anymore. That sucks, but at the same time, the good thing about that is it's made me appreciate those of my friends, including my best friend since my whole life practically, who's currently my roommate. It's made me appreciate those friends so much more. But it just really sucks because I've always been the type of person who had such a low self-esteem as it is, such a low self-image of myself. You get what I mean. But it just makes it hard because when somebody reaches out to you, it makes you feel like that's great. It's great. Like for someone like me with such a low self-esteem, that feels great. And then when it turns around and seems to go the other route, it's not so good. And I'm the type of person that I blame myself for things when I shouldn't. So it's very easy for me to get lost in thinking that it was my fault. And the good thing I will say is, that's one good thing through it all that I've been through this year, is that, for once, I'm actually not blaming myself for those rare, few friendships that didn't go maybe the way I was hoping, and situations like that. I actually was able to step back for the first time in my life and say, what, that wasn't my fault. I did nothing to deserve that. I'm, a good person and a good friend to have. So those people just aren't people that I want in my life. And there've been a few cases here and there throughout the year, of people that, I just don't talk to anymore, and that, that's the case, that it's just, I'm better off without them. And there are a few where it seemed like things were going bad, and we kind of had a talk, and I think, we're good. So that's cool, too. So, But it's still, I always like to say cautious optimism. And in those cases, that's kind of how I'm proceeding for the time being. And it just, for me, I've always been, I kind of feel things a lot more strongly than I think normal people do. Like, it's kind of a curse. I always say it's sort of like my monkism, because for me, like, just like Monk says about his OCD, it's a gift and a curse. But I feel things so intensely, and sometimes that can be great, and sometimes it really sucks. And when it can be great is that, when I have a good friend, like friends, because I haven't had that many people I can trust in my life, friends really matter to me. I've learned that about myself. I've learned that I can kind of get a little too, they matter a little too much. So I've learned that about myself and learned to balance it. Like, I don't want to be like freakazoid at people and be like way too clingy. I don't do that. I've learned not to do that. But the thing is, friends do, even just friends, do really matter to me, because there's just not that many people in my life I could trust throughout my life. So, I cherish the ones that I can. So it hits me pretty hard when, when it seems like something goes wrong. I mean, I really, in general, I can't complain too much about. It was a great 2014 with, just a few with a lot of ups, but just a few downs. But here's looking at 2015, and hopefully it'll be just that much even better. Hopefully it'll blow my 2013 out of the water. Okay, well, thank you, YouTubers. Have a nice day, and Happy New Year. Here's hoping that your 2015 is the year of your lives.